Hello everyone, this week we're going to share how to use generative AI, specifically BARD, to assist teachers with situational scenarios. All these scenarios that typically happen in the classroom. Since this is going to be a short video, I'm going to focus on using BARD for tough conversations, classroom management, and how to review executive functioning and accommodating our students in the classroom. So let's take a look. All right, so as in BARD or any generative AI app, it's very important to be very specific with your prompts. So I preloaded 3 prompts ready to go for today just to make sure it's easy to briefly talk about this. So as I go through here, I just did a very specific prompt because if you're brief, you're going to get very vague information. If you're very specific, you'll get details. But you could always continue to add more to it throughout this chat conversation. So provide me classroom management tips for a 4th grade classroom, but for a select group of students, not the entire class. That might happen in your daily life. I just kind of pick some random things just to share today. So for here, it gave me some different ideas as well as some additional strategies such as a behavior contract. So I'm looking at a couple items here, and I was just thinking some of these might be pretty interesting to go down the rabbit hole and get some more information. So I did, and I moved over to here, and I said, okay, provide me a behavior contract understandable for a 10-year-old. Because why would I search for anything when I could have it generate here and see if it's going to be beneficial for me, and I could always revise if it's needed, but that is there. And then one last thing I did is provide me 10 examples in detail on self-regulation for a 10-year-old, because quite frankly, that was one of the strategies that were provided, and it's nice to get some specific information that might be helpful. Now, are all 10 of these going to be great? Probably not. But is there going to be 1 or 2 that might be helpful? Absolutely. And there you could actually use that as a tip. So that's just one quick way I was able to get some information on classroom management. Let's move on to middle school tough conversations. So here I just said provide me examples on tips on having tough conversations with middle school students. Now, this would be even beneficial if I was very specific on that tough conversation, but I'm going to leave this vague right now because I didn't have one off the top of my head. But here it actually has 3 different ones I could hear, such as providing what happened, feelings about conversations, and identifying the conversations that are here. But what I like about here are some tips for having crucial conversations with your students, such as choose the right time and place, be clear with your goals, be respectful, non-judgmental, listen actively, be patient, so on and so forth. Great ideas to keep in my back pocket and have that there, so if I ever need to have a crucial conversation, that is there. And that's great. So last but not least, executive functioning. So I just said, provide me creative tips for executive functioning with a 9-year-old student. And so it provided me some cool tips that would be beneficial. Also some creative tips that might be interesting and helpful when it comes to exec functioning. As always, I always like to drill down in AI, so I say create a regular break schedule, because I think that was actually one of the things here, break down some tasks in smaller steps, but also it says provide regular breaks. I'm like, okay, let's see what that looks like. And here give you some suggestions, such as using a morning break, a lunch break, afternoon, so on and so forth. That's great. Some of this might work, some of it might not, but also what are some activities? That's even better. Stretching, walking around, getting some fresh air if that's possible, reading a book, playing a quick game, listening to music, drawing or painting. So a lot of these things may or may not work, and I can be very specific, but the one thing I want to share with everybody is that we all go through different situations and scenarios in our entire life, and using something like this in your back pocket might be beneficial as your aid to get to your desired outcome. I hope this helps.